So last week on our social media channels, I posed the question as to whether or not traditional cameras have become obsolete. And that's because of high-end cell phones with really impressive cameras like the one on the Xiaomi 15 Ultra, which I decided to go ahead and purchase. And this may be the very best camera phone you can buy on the planet. Unfortunately, you can't buy them in Canada. I actually had to order this from China. Now, I did get the global version, which is for sale in places in Europe and like, but I had to order this from China, and I went all in. I got the additional camera kit that you can order with it, and I'll review that and go over it on a future video. But today I want to talk about whether or not this is enough. So I will shoot part of this video with the Xiaomi 15 Ultra. I'm shooting on it right now, in fact. And I'll shoot other parts of this video on my actual Canon M200 mirrorless camera, for which I've got like 4 different lenses for, and I may swap between lenses. I'll also swap between focal lengths on the actual Xiaomi 15 Ultra. And let me know what you think at the end as to whether or not this is enough for the kind of videos that we shoot here. Now, the first thing you'll notice about the Xiaomi 15 Ultra is its size. It's pretty significant, right? Now, it's about maybe half an inch taller than the Pixel 8 I was using previously, and the thickness is about the same, only the camera bump on the Xiaomi 15 Ultra is significantly pronounced, right? It's pretty substantial. But the reason I went for this is because, I mean, number one, is probably the best camera phone you can buy at this very moment. They keep getting better, but I can't imagine the improvements being that significant over this for the next couple of years at least. But more importantly, it's got a good array of lenses, of cameras built into its little camera bump here. We've got 4 cameras represented. Now, I'm currently shooting this on my Canon M200 with the 35mm macro lens, which of course can be used for regular photography as well, and it's one of the more detailed lenses I have. It brings a lot of sharpness out of the image, so I decided to go with it. I have, of course, many choices, but when you compare the camera kit that I have with this particular phone, there's a lot of similarities. So first of all, this phone's got an ultra-wide lens that begins at 14mm, okay? I have a wide zoom lens that goes from 11 to 22, so it falls within that area, but gives me a little more flexibility with the Canon M200. The main camera on this, which does have a significant 1-inch sensor, that's an industry best, it's the largest sensor you can get on a cell phone camera, is a 23mm. Now, I do have a kit lens that came with the Canon M200 that goes from 15 to 45mm, but generally speaking, kit lenses are a little bit softer. They're not as precise a picture as you might get from some of the secondary market lenses. So I rarely use it, but I do have that as well. The next lens up is a small telephoto. It's 70mm with this, and it can do macro photography at the 70mm as well. I personally have a very fast lens for my Canon M200. I've got a 50mm f1.2 lens, so extremely fast, but it is manual focus, so there's a little tinkering involved to get the absolute best image, but it's a prime lens, and it generally brings out a lot of detail and a lot of bokeh when I want it. So I've got that. Then this goes up to a 100mm telephoto lens, which can then go to 200mm digitally, but the processing they've put in this allows the 200mm image to be almost perfect. Okay, so they've done a very good job of that to get the most out of it. I have a ultra telephoto with my Canon M200 that goes from 100mm to 300mm. Of course, that's all optical. There's no digital processing there. So I have a good selection of lenses for my M200, but then this has the capability of those particular lenses, maybe not as precise or as much flexibility as you'd get with a professional camera, but in your pocket, right? This is just one simple device I can carry with me in my pocket that I'm going to have with me anyways, that can essentially do it all. And I mean, that's the hope. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a number of photos with this and a number of similar photos with the Canon M200 using the lens that I think is most appropriate at the time. And we'll compare the two, and I'll do it in such a way that I won't let you know what's taken with what until the end, so you can make your own decisions as to which picture you think is better without having any personal bias attached to it. Let's get into it. So if you'd like to play along, make a note of which picture you prefer, A or B, C or D, E or F, and so forth. We took a few photos Halloween night in our neighborhood, and it was absolutely brutal conditions for photography, so I was really testing out the capabilities of both my M200 and the Xiaomi 15 Ultra. In these particular shots, I took a shot of the sky when the sun was kind of blasting through the haze to really put them to the test, really. Like, this is about as brutal a shot as you could take to see what kind of detail I could still get out of them. Then I shot this because it's got some fine detailing, a fair amount of contrast, both dark and light areas. I thought it'd be a good test of both the camera and the cell phone. Again, keep note of which ones you prefer because I'll reveal it at the end and you'll get a feel for what you will actually like. Now, I did do some macro photography because we do that on the channel. Macro photography is a big thing here because I cover so many watches. So I shot this Omega Speedmaster, and it's funny, it looks almost like two different watches depending on which camera you shoot it with. They pick up different portions of the detail. I also wanted to shoot something with a subject in the foreground to show you the amount of separation both the M200 and Xiaomi 15 Ultra can create without actually using portrait mode, just using the native lens, and this was a perfect subject for that. You can see both of them have some background blur. Then I shot some pictures and video in portrait, as well as some video in landscape. You'll see one here is a little softer than the other, but what do you prefer? Here, the colors are completely different. They pick up very different sort of depths of color and points of saturation. This is a really good video to show how they handle motion and multiple points of focus. So shooting the subway from the Beltline Bridge over Yonge Street was a great vantage point for a shot like this. I've got the steel girder in the foreground, then I've got the trees, then I have the moving subway. Figure out which one you like. Maybe go back and forth a couple of times if you're unsure which one really speaks to you, because they're pretty damn close. So I'm in no way trying to slam traditional cameras like this. Don't get me wrong. I love my Canon M200. And I've done a video on why I consider this to be maybe one of the best travel cameras you can buy. Because as far as mirrorless cameras go, this is pretty small. This is pretty compact. And depending on which lens you use, you can make it even smaller. Canon has a dedicated 22mm prime that turns this into a point and shoot, essentially. It's only about this far off the body. So you have that option. I never took it because the lenses I have, the combination of lenses I've purchased, allow me to take any picture I want. Really. Any picture. I'm almost at the point where I could shoot, say, any video I wanted with this particular camera. But what sets it apart from, say, a cell phone is that when I want to use this camera, I plan on what I'm going to shoot later and then choose the lenses that are necessary. And the key word there is plan. Because it's not something you just want to carry around with you and come across a great shot and then reach into your backpack and put on the right lens that you think suits it. It's not very handy, it's not very convenient, it's not practical at all. Now, if you're a professional photographer, that's different. And if you're a professional photographer, you're not using the Canon M200. You'll be using a full frame camera, much larger than this. You don't mind having the full backpack full of gear because your end goal is the perfect picture. When you're a content creator like myself, that is not your end goal. It really isn't. As a content creator, I'm looking to produce an image that's pleasing to the audience, not perfect. I'm not trying to sell you a print of a picture I took. That's not my end goal. My end goal is to show you what I see in the most honest and appealing way possible. That's what I'm after. And something like this can do that. But the reality is, and now that you've seen the comparison photos, I still haven't revealed to you which belongs to which, but I'm sure when you've seen them all now, choosing between them, it isn't that big of a deal. It's not a make or break choice. The images coming out of the M200 and the images coming out of the Xiaomi 15 Ultra are both excellent. They're both appealing to the eye. Some appeal in different ways, but to be honest, if I play around with it in post, I can probably make one look very similar to the other. I've purposefully left all of these pictures untouched. They're just JPEGs, straight out of the cell phone or straight out of the camera. Did not use RAW files. I did not do any color editing. I didn't even brighten or darken these images. I left them completely stock so you can get an idea of what it looks like in the fairest way possible. So will I still use this? 100% I will, right? If I plan on, going out and shooting some phenomenal landscapes or some nature photography or something like that, if I'm after like the perfect landscape shot during the golden hour, I'll probably throw on the 11 to 22 millimeter wide zoom and get it that way. If I want to do some nature photography of things if I'm somewhere up north or in Alaska and I want to get the perfect shot of, say, a bald eagle or something, maybe I'll use the 100 to 300 millimeter telephoto that I have with this particular camera, because that's the particular shot I'm after. But if I'm just walking around the city and looking for something cool to shoot, I'd much rather use the Xiaomi 15 Ultra because all of the lenses are in one compact unit that I can keep in my pocket. And I'm going to do a following video that actually goes over the photography kit I purchased with it that makes it even closer to something like this, because now you have interchangeable lenses. So just like with this, if I want to take a really moody, high contrast picture, I'll use an ND filter. I can now use that same ND filter on the Xiaomi 15 Ultra, and I will follow up with a video on that. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe. You don't want to miss these future videos. We've invested in something like the Xiaomi 15 Ultra so that we can bring you more impressive quality and a wider range of options when it comes to filming on the go, which is something we do quite often. Now, what makes the Xiaomi 15 Ultra even one step closer to a camera like this is the photography kit, and I purposefully did not use it in this particular video. I haven't even fully opened it yet. I just threw on the case to protect my cell phone, but I haven't actually used it yet. I'm still gonna have to do the updates on the pistol, on the grip that attaches to it. It's gonna be requiring some software updates to bring it up to spec, but I did not want to use it because I wanted this video to be about the most convenient and simple and easy way to buy something like a high-end cell phone with a high-end camera built into it right out of the box and see how it works. I will do a future video where I show how much closer using the photography kit is to using something like this, and where the similarities allow you to achieve the kind of photos that you could have never achieved before with a cell phone. So be sure to subscribe. Don't miss out on that one. We're trying to get to 5,000. When we do, we're going to give away a watch. As a segue, I'm wearing one of the most sexy watches today. I'm wearing the Rado Captain Cook with the green ceramic. Just a gorgeous watch that practically fits any occasion, but getting off topic there. Let's get back to the reveal. Which photos belong to which hardware? Let's go. So what do you think of the Xiaomi 15 Ultra so far?
So we've used it for a day. Well, basically I've seen it in use for a day and it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
To say the least.
It's blown us away. I mean, I thought long and hard before I made this purchase because it's not an inexpensive item,
nope.
Right? Like I mentioned, just the camera with the camera kit is as expensive, maybe even more expensive than my entire professional camera and lenses. Okay, and I'll share the actual numbers with you in the description if you want to see how much everything costs. And keep in mind, I try and pay as little as I can for almost everything.
Cope will wait like 6 months to get the best deal.
Right?
It was basically my decision to force him to be like, let's actually just pay up for this because I feel like it was worth it.
Yeah, and you have no choice. It's not for sale in Canada. It wasn't like I could wait for it to maybe pop up on an auction somewhere.
No, it won't exist.
They don't sell them in Canada.
Right.
But I mean, a lot of the things I bought for my Canon M200, a lot of the lenses are secondhand or open box. I got a deal on the camera itself at Boxing Week sale. Like,
that's true. Yeah.
We paid as little as we could for that camera and all those lenses, but it's a really complete kit.
And through over time, too.
And over time. It's not just one time cashing out. It's you buy a lens here, you buy a lens there, you find something for a deal, you pick it up. But that whole combined cost is maybe less than the camera. I will do the whole thing in the description after the fact, and we'll add it all up and see where we're at. But the Xiaomi 15 Ultra is not inexpensive. But so far, it's been worth it.
It's worth every penny.
Yeah. It's the simplicity.
Yeah.
Right? It's the options it gives you with all the different lenses. So I know you've been waiting for the reveal, and it's about time we gave it to you.
Yeah.
So all I need to actually tell you is that the first picture in each pairing is from the Canon M200. So A is the Canon, B is Xiaomi, C is the Canon, D is Xiaomi, so on and so forth. And then I gave you those last two macro shots, actually super macro shots.
Yep.
I used the 4.3x, so the 100 millimeter lens on the Xiaomi, and I used the super macro option on the macro lens, the 28 millimeter macro lens on the Canon M200 for those last two photos I show you at the end, but I'm not going to tell you which one's which. Make your pick in the comment as to which one you think belongs to the Canon and which one belongs to the Xiaomi, the first or second. Let us know.
Till next time, guys, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we'll see you on the next one.
And it's only going to get better from here.